Hey, 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 what's going on, peeps? I hope everybody is doing well. It's Saturday. Well, here in Cali, LA, right now, it is absolutely gorgeous. Man, I'm about to, after this here, I'm about to throw some stuff on the grill and have a couple of drinks and just chill out, man. Like I said, I'm super excited. So, hey, but today, I got my boy on here, man, Mr. Jakob Butturff, dude. It's an honor to even have him on. This is Celebrity Saturday, guys. So anybody that wants to shoot questions Jacob way, man, I'm sure he will be happy and thrilled to answer any and every question that we got. But man, I'm gonna bring my boy to the stage, or I would say to the stage, to the screen. JB, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, my peeps? How you doing?
Man, dude, hot. It's hot right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's getting hot here in Arizona as well. It's hitting in the hundreds now.
Already?
Yeah, I just got in my car today and it was 102 out.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's gonna be a hot one this summer.
Yeah. See, I'm not even there yet. Thank goodness.
Yeah, we're hoping to not hit 125 this year.
Man, once it gets over like 105 or so, it's all the same, isn't it?
I mean, when it gets in those stages, man, like you almost just want to stay inside because if you step outside, you just immediately want to run inside.
Yeah, that's why everybody was like moving to Arizona, moving to Vegas, dude. I can't do it. I just can't.
Yeah, like when I lived in Vegas, it was just as hot, and moved to Arizona. I didn't realize it would be hotter than Vegas, but sure as heck it is.
Oh yeah. But no, like I said, hey guys, for all my viewers it's on, dude, shoot your questions Jacob's way, dude. I'm sure he'll be thrilled and happy to answer them, dude. But hey, I'm gonna start off with a little couple personal questions, dude. Where were you born, and what was your childhood like?
So, I was actually born in Las Vegas. I was born not actually 26 years to the day on Tuesday. So birthday coming up. And growing up, it was pretty calm. Just live my normal, go to school, do homework, eat dinner with family kind of life growing up. Um, Parents went through a divorce pretty early in my life. I was probably, I'd say, about 11, 12 years old.
Okay.
And it was a little difficult because of the fact that they moved. Like, my mom ended up moving to Henderson uh, right before I started high school. So just kind of went through that life of going back and forth with parents. It's difficult, especially being on a kid at such a young age. But as time kind of adapted, I just kind of picked and choose like what would make me happy, and my parents tagged along with it.
Okay. Hey, look, they are you getting your steps in? What are you doing?
Oh, of course, yeah, yeah.
Look,
As Chris just said, sit still. The ADHD is what I would say is kicking in right now.
look. Everybody say go sit down. You're making them dizzy. Hey, dude.
Yeah, just kind of getting the steps in, just keeping the legs going.
Hey. However you can make it happen, bro.
Yeah.
Growing up, what was your number one sport?
It was actually just bowling. I mean, I watched quite a bit of sports. My parents wanted me to get some sports in, but honestly, I just stuck with bowling, and then I started taking it more competitively when I was just getting into high school. Started bowling for the high school team, and started traveling for JVT when I was 16. Ended up bowling junior gold the 1 year I was in Vegas,
Uh,
and so like I said, I've always mainly just been a bowler.
okay. And you started bowling at what age?
I was 5 years old when I started bowling.
Wow.
Yeah, going on over 2 decades now.
And you wouldn't even believe that, would you?
God, I can't even, like, it's hard to picture it.
Yeah. Who introduced you to bowling?
Um, Basically my parents. They never did bowling like super competitively. They just kind of like did it recreationally, and they just kind of had fun with it, and ever since then, I just kind of something I love to do. Dad would take me bowling after school once I got done with homework, and I just enjoyed it.
Yeah, like I said, I grew up in a bowling alley myself, playing video games, asking everybody for quarters back in the day.
Definitely. Once I got better, it's like I asked parents if I could just travel like all over. Ended up in Washington the weekend of my birthday. I believe I was 19 at the time.
Wow.
Yeah. So JVT's Jeff Hemer does an amazing job, all ages under 21. It's worth it.
Hey, there you go. Another little personal question. Hey, we all know, we see the posts about your mom being sick. I love her dearly. Like, we were at the, what do you call that? Like I said, the Weber Cup. And
Weber Cup.
yeah,
Cup. Oh man.
and your mom was up there cheering. That was absolutely amazing to meet her, and she's so just down to earth, amazing woman, dude. So I just hats out to her. Tell her I love her too.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot. She's obviously going through the struggles, but I know she's fighting hard. She's had cancer for quite a bit, so obviously her body's still pushing. So it's the one thing I love.
Yeah. So look, you're with your mom being sick and you bowling all over the place. Has that ever affected your mental game while you're out there and you're thinking about your mom?
It definitely hit me. I believe it was the Tournament of Champions when it was at Fire Lake in Shawnee. It hit me once because of the fact that she told me she was just going through a hard time and just kind of had a mental breakdown. And like that was probably the most it's affected me. Every now and then I think about it, but nowadays it's just like my mom knows that she loves to watch me bowl. So if she loves to watch me bowl, then I can't sit there and let the emotions get the best of me. I have to go out there with my veins as cold as ice.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I know that's huge, dude. So that's a good way to go into trying to think about that, because I know she is your number one supporter for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bowling collegiately at Arizona State. How did that help your game and turn you into the player you are today?
Getting that experience, honestly, like JVT obviously helped before I went into college, but even bowling the year at in college, it's like it teaches you a lot about lane play. It teaches you a lot about the way the lanes break down. It teaches you communication with your team. Jordan Asperg was my coach at Arizona State.
Right.
Obviously, a majority of people know Jordan and knows who he is as a person, and he just is very passionate. Like he's very passionate when it comes to the sport of bowling. So that's one thing I can't ever take away from someone like him. The way he coaches it at times, though. Needless to say, like I mean, he's very outspoken. Like he isn't afraid to teach his ways, but at the same time, if you can get past like some of the talks he has, like I mean, he can definitely teach you a lot about bowling.
Okay. So right now, how do you think Jordan has impacted your game, and does he still help you to this day?
Oh, definitely. Like I mean, to this day, I mean, he tries his best to like watch me when I'm bowling. Like he knows if I'm missing something, like he'll suggest it. And at times, like I'll admit, like I'm not exactly the most calm whelming when I'm bowling bad. Like I'm very stubborn, which is something I'd probably get from my mom. Like so, and it's worked. He helped me out at the World Series when I first joined tour in 2015.
Yeah.
He was out there watching like pretty much the whole week. Like I was bowling really well. I got into match play, and people are going to find this really hard to believe, but I didn't want to go into urethane like probably the second match play block of the World Championship.
Right.
And I ended up going to urethane for the last block, and I ended up bowling a lot better, even though I was well far out of the show. But I think it's just like the fact that like you just kind of need someone there to like trigger in your mind to like kind of get you back into that mindset. like he's just always been there when he's been out on the lanes.
Yeah. So he can see you on camera and not physically be there, and something goes on, and he'll call or text you and say, "Hey, Jacob, I seen this."
Yeah, exactly. It's like going to a practice field. Like if you just see someone on video, if you see something's going wrong, like in a batting cage, like a coach can like spot something almost immediately.
Yeah,
So,
that's what's
so
up.
yeah, it's funny because it goes on in any sport. Like if you just know something and you know someone's there like that could teach you what to do it, then they're almost gonna be the first person to tell you.
There you go. Hey, we got a question from Jamie Wells. Has there been other versions of your approach, or mainly just your current style?
I used to throw it actually like with like straight arm. Like I mean, I didn't get a ton of hand, but I still got a like pretty. I was definitely more speed dominant when I threw it straighter.
Yeah.
But I started throwing it the way I do just out of the blue one day. Didn't feel any pain in my wrist, and I just kind of stuck with it. And no coach growing up tried to change my style, and neither did Jordan. So I was just like, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
There you go. Um, what is your biggest accomplishment thus far in your bowling career?
Hands down, last year, USBC Masters. First major after finishing second 3 times. I would definitely say that that's the best moment of my career, no longer the bridesmaid.
There you go. Hey, you had a ton of success with 900 globals. What was the major factor in your decision to leave and go to Columbia 300?
Honestly, like just a deal where I just got a better deal. I mean, I immediately got in that mindset where if you're good enough of a bowler, it doesn't matter what brand you throw. If you're that successful, you can strike with anything. And I've noticed that with a lot of guys. I mean, and it's definitely taking time. Like, there's a handful of guys on tour that have been with multiple companies, but they've had a lot of success still making shows. I mean, we know Don Barrett was very successful with Storm, and when he ended up going to Ebonite, it took him a little time, but he ended up getting pretty successful.
Right.
So for me, it's like the same thing. I mean, if you're offered, it's like it applies in life too. If you get offered a position for a job, and if you get a better deal, you obviously want to take it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I just
So
think it's like it's so crazy, man. Like you said, everybody, you have success here with this company, and then all of a sudden, another opportunity comes, and you jump ship, and all of a sudden, you're struggling for a minute, and then next thing you know, boom, here it comes.
yeah, I was just actually having a talk last night about with a buddy of mine, Sean DeRocher, if the name sounds familiar, but
I do know that name.
I was just talking to him about when I was with Naira Global, when I actually broke the record for regionals in a year. And he was asking me, he's like, why did you end up going to Ebonite? So same talk I basically just had. It's like when you get offered a better deal, it's like you have to take it.
Hey, there you go. Hey, when did urethane have such a huge impact in your bowling career?
Honestly, like I felt I was more successful with it, like when I started college. Like, um, oh, even I would say like when I started bowling more on patterns, because for me, urethane's just always been more consistent. Higher rev guys typically have a more successful time with urethane because the rev rate being so high, urethane's a lot more consistent when they can play straighter and control the patterns, like the tougher patterns, a lot easier. So, with that being said, to me, it's like I always was told that it doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you can go out there and repeat it,
Right.
you're going to be successful.
Okay. So I don't know if you've seen the show the other day. I had Adam on here, and they were talking about urethanes and having a stash of purple hammers. They know you have some. Are you willing to give some away?
um, Needless to say, I'm name your price. There you go.
Look at you. Oh man. No.
Honestly, like to this moment right now in life, I'm just looking forward to get back on the lanes. Like, obviously, it's a very stressful time for a lot of us. So, Let me see how this one first couple purple urethanes look, and then I'll tell you, and you can name your price.
Hey, being who you are and being in the spotlight, how do you continue to be so humble when you come down to the bowling alley with us normal bowlers?
Because I always have had this mindset of this other mindset where it just because you're successful at something doesn't make you God. Like just always had that mindset. Every time I go on the lanes, like I'm out there to have a good time, especially when bowlers are basically my family.
Right.
So whenever I go out there, I'm obviously out there to see the friends and the people I care about. And if people want to come up, say hi, whatever, please. Like I'm more than welcome to introduce myself. I'm more than welcome to take pictures. It's just something I'm all for.
Yeah, because like I said, I've heard numerous times, man, that's Jacob, that's Jacob. Like he's so cool, and like me in my mind, and I'm like, dude, I'm glad that he is who he is and how humble you are because it really speaks volume for the younger generation bowlers, knowing that man, you are, or not just you, but a lot of bowlers are very friendly, man. So that's what's up.
Absolutely. And if you ask like pretty much anybody on tour, like in our generation right now, like Simo, Kyle Troop, Marshall Kent, EJ, they're exactly the same way. They'll go out there, they'll say hi. They aren't afraid to like sign autographs, take pictures, all that
Right.
type of stuff.
No, you're absolutely right. Hey, bowling on tour. How important is it being in shape?
It's definitely a lot more important than what most people would probably think because, especially in a time right now, like, I mean, if you look at most athletes, they're still trying to do anything they can to stay in shape, like try to stay on their feet, trying to make sure their body doesn't get any wear and tear. Like they're trying everything they can to um, stay in shape, like making sure your muscles don't get sore. That
Right.
applies to I believe that applies the same as bowlers. I mean, because what's going to happen when you don't do anything and then you go out there and try to throw that first shot and you feel like your arm's going to fall off?
Yeah. Yeah. I had a dream, I'm telling you, the other day, dude, that I didn't know how to bowl at all anymore. And I was so afraid.
Yeah, I've definitely had that same mindset, like go thinking about it. So, probably like once or twice a day, I'll go out there and I'll go in the backyard and throw a couple shots with even my normal release, like make sure my wrist will still be functionable.
Yeah. Have you, okay, with being in shape, what are you doing now to personally keep yourself in shape and to be prepared for whenever this ends?
Honestly, like I mean, just kind of getting up, working out, trying to go out and shop and cook my own meals. I mean, like I obviously being on tour, you eat out a lot, and that's why whenever you go to a lot of events, like my one of my favorite stops of the year is Wayne Webb's place because he likes to treat us every single day. Like we're out there bowling, he knows the struggle we're going through, so he has a bunch of employees cook up and make sure that we have a nice breakfast, a nice lunch, and a nice dinner.
There you go. Somebody says, "Hey Jacob, I noticed that you have two different purple urethanes. How are you going to adjust the layout from the one that you have a weight hole in?"
Honestly, like I mean, like for me, like we've obviously had the rule coming up where we're having to plug weight holes. I've actually been working when they established the new rule that's coming up and are enforcing it. I've actually been drilling a lot more purple hammers without weight holes and kind of using them to get an idea of like how I would lay out urethanes as well. So at the most recent tour stop, we had or I actually had a purple urethane, and I drilled on the truck. I drilled it with my same favorite layout, just without a weight hole, and it was honestly pretty similar.
Oh, okay. That's what's up there.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
Are you more protective of your personal items in the bowling centers? People like to steal.
I never usually used to be, but I had a really bad occurrence a couple of years ago, or I believe it was 2 years ago. We were at the Lucy. I was bowling the Lucy doubles with Taylor both eyes, and I ended up getting my backpack stolen.
Oh wow.
And so yeah, so like I had my I still had my bowling shoes, but in my backpack were my wallet and my laptop actually.
Right.
So I ended up we ended up getting a video of the guy stealing my backpack. It's actually still sitting on my counter. So they have a video of it, and I posted on Facebook. And then the very next day, a lady messages me saying that she found my backpack, and it sucks too because of the fact that it had my ID in there. So I actually had no possible way of getting home. So I ended up taking the road trip back home with Gabrielle Mayfield, and like I said, that was just a very exhausting weekend. And because of that, I now like I make sure that my wallet is like near side of me every single time.
Right. Okay. Well, just know if I'm ever around and you're bowling, you can always trust me, bro. I got you.
Absolutely, thank you.
Let's see here. Funniest or most embarrassing moment on tour?
Oh man, I could give you a list.
Well, we listening. Give
I've
us a
had
couple because hey, I know there is Jakob Butturff has stories. I know he does.
And needless to say, for all the viewers out there, and it's not something to be proud of, but if you know Jakob very well, he loves shots and loves them. And when Jakob drinks shots, he tends to drink a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
and Jacob's not afraid to stop drinking shots either.
Uh-oh.
Like if you remember correctly, Brandon, New Mexico Open.
Oh yeah.
I've had a fair share of moments where actually I would say the most embarrassing was I think it was probably man, it's a toss up, but I'm trying to think of like the most embarrassing moment I've had
Hey,
where I woke
what
up.
about St. Louis? Because I think that guy Greg did something to you in St. Louis. I don't know if you remember that.
What's that?
I said in St. Louis, I think that guy Greg Thompson Jr. He did something to you, but
which year?
Right.
I actually, if I remember, I think probably the most embarrassing, honestly, was going outside when it was snowing. The very first year we bowled Holly Doubles, it was snowing outside, and I stepped outside and there was black ice on the tarmac, and I fell so hard, like I didn't get up for like 5 seconds, and I just started laughing for no reason. And GT thought that I was like gonna go into shock or something, and I'm just dying laughing. And I was so intoxicated, I believe that I like thought that I was actually in snow and not black ice, and I started trying to do snow angels.
Oh wow.
So, and GT says it's probably one of the funniest moments he's ever had.
All right. Hey, do you bowl better after a few shots or sober?
I definitely bowl a lot better sober. After a few shots, needless to say, I'm happy if my ball goes 12 miles an hour.
All I know is New Mexico and holiday doubles, dude. It was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, definitely. And needless to say, like, I mean, knowing, like, just being me, like, I mean, I just go out there and just love to have a fun time, a fun experience, like, it's very, like, when you travel for these tournaments, you only see, like, your close friends for such a short period of time, let alone, like, the situation we're going through right now. So you just want to enjoy those moments. You don't want to dwell on them. So, like, even when I bowl bad, I still try to have the best time I can.
Oh, yeah. I know when I'm bowling bad, here comes Jakob, and he's like, Brandon, let's go. We're going to take a shot. And I'm like, a shot? Like, I never drank Fireball until I met this guy. And I'm like, dude, who drinks this crap?
I've gotten off the trend of Fireball, needless to say. Way too sweet.
Yeah. So, hey, who is your biggest rival on tour and why? Shout them out right now.
I believe like everybody's rival on tour has got to be the two-hander from Down Under, and I think it's because of the fact that, Jason and I have been bowling obviously quite a bit for the last couple of years, and um, Jason obviously beat me for his record-breaking major, and then he beats me in Japan like a month later. So I could beat Jason in match play, but when it gets to TV, I guess I just can't beat him.
So yeah, I feel that he's that guy, that no one likes out there. You're like, God, that guy gets on my nerves.
It's funny because I believe the word is envious of Jason because he's so successful, but yet you still are going to be friends with him because I feel like you should never take bowling personal ever. And then off the lanes, you all are so good. We're still going to be friends.
Right. All right. Like I said, we've seen you miss some spares in big matches. How do you recover from that going into the next tournament?
You just have to shift your mindset. I always say it like this too. It's like baseball players. Baseball. Say, the biggest moment ever. Someone hits a walk-off home run against the team that you're on, and you have to play a game the very next day. You could start a game and you could hit a walk-off in the 15th inning where the game doesn't get done until 11:30 at night, and then you have to start that game the very next day at noon. Your mindset immediately has to shift into that next game, or else if you just carry over from yesterday, it's going to affect you personally. And it's happened to me in my career once. I lost in Arlington. I would say when I lost at the Hall of Fame Classic last year, when I lost to Bill, I was obviously felt defeated because I missed 2 spares in that match. Mm-hmm. And if I make my spares, I win. So my mindset, though, once I finished, I had to shift because we had to be in Shawnee the very next day.
Yeah, I was sitting there looking at TV, and I'm like, Jacob, what the, yeah, I was pissed off at you.
Yeah, so I ended up going in the next week and ended up missing a spare still on TV, but I was fortunate enough to throw a 9-bagger against Jesper.
Yeah. Hey, Greg Thompson Jr. says he is better than you and taught you what you know. Who is really better?
Depends on what we're talking about, drinking or bowling.
Oh. I think drinking, you win.
I don't know. Greg can put down some drinks.
See, I've never drank with Greg, so I guess that's on my bucket list.
Oh man. Needless to say, Greg is I feel like Greg actually bowls better intoxicated, and I'm sure about 85 to 90% of the people that we both know can say the same thing.
Wow. Let's see here. Who is your role model in the PBA?
Growing up, it was hands down, and I'm sure a lot of people could say this, but it's probably between Parker Bone III and Jason Couch. Because, there are 2 guys, obviously growing up being left-handed, you always want to watch the lefties growing up. And when I was growing up watching more bowling, it was basically Parker and Jason on majority of the shows. Mike Scroggins was up there as well. I watched a handful of Richard Wolf when he made some shows as well. Dennis made a couple of shows. So just watching all the lefties growing up, it obviously made a huge impact on me. And Parker was obviously, the humble guy in the lanes. And meeting Parker for the first time was amazing.
Yeah. So, all right, question for you. What are your goals, your I say short-term goals for the next 5 years for going into the PBA?
Honestly, accomplishing first major, cross that off the bucket list now. That's definitely something I've wanted after being on tour for a couple of years. Obviously winning player of the year. I came up short a little bit the last 2 years. I came up short by just 1 tournament. And this past year, Belmo had probably the best year of his career. So, like I said, player of the year would just be the biggest accomplishment. Winning a couple more titles, becoming Hall of Fame eligible would definitely be another accomplishment. So 1 more major or 3 titles, and I'm right there.
Okay, that's what's up there. A little back to personal, just a little bit. making the decision to leave school and join the PBA. What was your mom's thoughts on that, and how hard was that decision?
It was definitely hard for both of my parents. I think honestly it was probably harder from when I moved from Vegas to Arizona on my mom more than anything. Uh, I would not necessarily use the word hard, but it was definitely a strange decision for her. But at the same time, she knew one of my passions was just to go out there on tour and experience it. And if I didn't do successful, I would just go back to school. And for people that know me, I'm a huge sports analyst guy. Like I love following a lot of sports, and it's something I still do. Like even when I'm not on tour, I still try to follow as much sports as I can. But obviously, was successful. I was successful my first half year on the tour, and then it's carried over for the last 5 years.
So how long have you been on tour?
I've been on tour since July of 2015.
Wow. Okay.
I got my card, and actually my first breakthrough moment was New Mexico Open in 2015. I bowled against two-time U.S. Open champ for the title, Francois Lavoie. So that was kind of like my breakthrough moment. Just going out there, obviously winning that was huge. It kind of started my life, and then bowled a couple of tournaments, and then obviously the World Series in 2015.
Right. All right.
I was successful there.
What area of your game currently has the most opportunity for improvement?
Honestly, like probably I would say consistency and a lot more control. Like, I mean, obviously accuracy is one of the biggest things when it comes to bowling. Like, I mean, and repeating shots, like that's always been my mindset. Like working on stamina, like tempo, like just trying to make sure that you stay in that same rhythm everywhere you go. Like obviously being versatile is one of the biggest things on tour, which is why one of the tournaments I love is when we bowl on dual patterns. And the reason why I do it is because it's a true test of versatility, and it challenges your mindset a little bit more.
Right. Okay. Got another question here. When did you know that you were about to be a professional bowler?
It was honestly it was a long shot, needless to say. Like going out of school and then going on the tour was obviously the true test. I just had to have that mindset. Like Jordan isn't like a mental coach by any means, but he says, I feel like you're physically capable, you're mentally capable, just go out there and bowl. And sure enough, I went out there, had a lot of success. 2016 still carried over that success. Won my first regional in 2016, and it's just been successful since.
And so it's so funny about Jordan, dude. When I first bowled New Mexico Open, this guy just behind me. It wasn't even Harvey. It was Jordan. And I'm like, who is this guy? I don't even know who this guy is that's talking to me. He was like, oh, you got away with that shot. Oh, you should do this. And as in my mind, I'm like, why am I sitting here listening to this dude? I have no clue who this guy is. and all of a sudden we start talking. He was like, yeah, Jakob, that's my guy. And I'm like, and now, I got Jordan coming on the show too, just FYI.
Oh, right now?
No, not right now. Just, one day.
Oh, man. I'll have to chime in with a couple of messages.
I'll bring you on. I will bring you and Jordan on at the same time. That'd be hilarious. No. Hey, isn't there more to bowl in Vegas than Arizona?
I wouldn't necessarily use the word more, but we try to I've been trying to help my buddy Theo. We actually he does a majority of the work, but we run a tournament club out here called Complete Bowling Events. And we just had our season-ending major this past December. No. And basically, we're known as, the main tournament club now in Arizona. And he's put forth a lot of effort to make sure we can get a lot of tournaments going, try to get, good revenue. We traveled up to Prescott, which is about 2 hours north. We've traveled down, or we're going to plan on traveling down to Tucson. Just trying to get out there and have a complete schedule of tournaments for Arizona people to bowl, because look at the Arizona talent we have out here. There's Jim Pratt, there's Michael Haugen, Brett Wolf, Josh Blanchard, just a list of players that are just by pros right there.
I didn't even know all those guys lived out there.
Yeah, handful. Like I said, handful of guys. Jim lives up in the like the Avondale area. Brett, myself, Josh live out here in Mesa, Tempe. Haugen lives up a little bit in Phoenix. Like just a handful of guys. We all love to compete.
Okay. Hey, what is your mindset when you know you have to throw a strike or punch out an attempt to win it?
So, this is I love this question because it's actually happened a handful of times this year. Back in Jonesboro, I was bowling my last qualifying block, and I'm not bowling the best of games. I have to double an attempt on the short lane, which I hadn't struck on yet, for 170
Right.
to stay in the cut. And I threw the first strike, and my mindset automatically clicks like, just relax, calm down. Like, I mean, take a deep breath. Don't focus on anybody else. Just focus on what's in front of you. And sure enough, I was able to throw that shot for the double, and it was good enough to make cut.
Wow. Man.
Like, you just kind of like want to clear your minds. Like, take a deep breath. If you have to, don't think about bowling. Just think about just going up there and being successful.
Right. How effective was bowling? How effective was JBT for you to become a PBA star?
Definitely a great start. Like, obviously, it's my very first time I started bowling on patterns. So, being able to bowl on patterns was definitely a great start to my career, because Jeff Hemer did an amazing job making sure that there was a tournament basically every weekend in multiple states. He's ran all the way from Washington, where he lives, all the way down to Texas.
Right.
So he's just done everything he can to make sure that, you know, every single youth bowler had something to bowl every single weekend. And he built up a scholarship money to make sure that, you know, we can use it for our future.
Okay. What is Jakob Butturff doing now that he can't bowl?
What am I doing now? Going insane. Like I said, I actually just signed up to be an Uber Eats driver. So I'm gonna be going out there, you know, making.
I can't believe that.
Like, I just kind of getting on my feet, making sure I can cruise around town and have a good time.
So, guys, y'all heard that. He's about to become an Uber Eats driver. Who wants, look, somebody's about to get their food delivered by this young man right here. I told him he needs to film this, because this right here, I'm sure there's some bowlers out there or some young bowlers that's going to be like, hey, that's Jakob Butturff. Dude, you have to film this.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for that moment where I click the button where I want to pick up a delivery, and it's a bowler, and they see that it's my name with my picture, and they're just going to be like, whoa.
Yeah, that is going to be hilarious, dude. But JB, man, hey, I appreciate your time, bro. As you know, I love you dearly. Send mom all my love, all of our love, dude. You know, our prayers and thoughts is always with her, man. Like, real talk.
Hey, thank you very much, B. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, absolutely, man. I love you, man. And shit, see you soon, bro.
All right, peace.
All right, peace out, brother.
Later.
Guys, that was my boy, Jakob Butturff, man. He is absolutely amazing. Real down-to-earth guy, man. But he's out there on tour doing his thing. Yeah, he was walking in a lot of circles, but hey, it's all good. So, like I said, today was my Celebrity Saturday. I don't know when I'll have another one. I'm gonna reach out and see. It doesn't have to be a professional bowler, just a professional. Any sport, basketball, football, soccer. You could be a movie star. Hey, and that's so. Those are my Celebrity Saturdays. So guys, Monday, I forgot who I have. Oh, Monday, Paul Carper from New Mexico. I see you Monday. So you guys tune in, hit that share button. You guys be safe. I'm about to get out here on this grill, throw some burgers on there, and have a couple of beers, man, and chill out on this great Saturday. You guys be safe, though. Love you guys. Bowtie out. Peace.